Hello everyone, and welcome to Garden to Kitchen. Today I'm going to show you how I plant my tomato plants. It's a bit early, but I'm planning on growing the largest tomatoes in North America. That's right, by August the 1st. I'm in a competition with Kaylee Kim from California and Gary from the Rusted Garden in Maryland. And I'm up here in Zone 5 in Ottawa, so I had to get my plants going ahead of time because it was so cold. And of course, they're been growing for a little while ahead of me, so I have to catch up with them. So I've got some tomatoes that I'm going to put in today, and I'm going to show you what I do to make them grow, hopefully 7 feet tall. Anyway, this bed was dug out a few weeks ago, and the soil has been amended with some compost. And in addition to that, I've also added some fish meal. That's right, fish meal, which is high in nitrogen and phosphorus. And in addition to that, I've used a couple cups of, I should say I used 2 cups of fish meal, 2 cups of alfalfa pellets that have been ground up, and of course they're full of nitrogen, and 4 cups of bone meal, which is phosphorus, and that's good for root production. So what I've done is I've mixed that together a couple weeks ago, and I worked it into the bed, and then I worked it in, and then I let it sit for a week or so. So today I'm going to be planting an heirloom, and the stalk on it is about, I'd say about 3/8 of an inch in size. It's monstrous, and I got a feeling that I'm going to produce some really big beefsteak tomatoes on this one. I also have another plant over here, and this one is called a Cherokee Purple. It may look a little small, but once it hits the ground, it really starts to grow. And last year I had some real successes with some great big beefsteak tomatoes from Cherokee Purple, which is also an heirloom plant as well, passed down through the Cherokee Indians in Tennessee, as the story goes, about 100 years ago. So those are the 2 plants that I'm going to be putting in today. I'm going to show you how I put in one of them, and then I'm going to repeat the process off camera to plant in the balance. So what I'm going to do, first of all, you notice I have a pipe here, and this is a drainage pipe. You may have seen this in my potato video on growing potatoes in a 27-gallon potato bucket, which was very successsul. And what I did is I put a drainage pipe down the center to feed the potatoes with lots of vitamins and compost from my garden, from my yard and my kitchen. And I produced a lot of potatoes, no doubt about it. So I decided to do the same thing for my tomatoes. And as you can see over here, I've got a cap on one of them, and I have the pipe already put into the soil, and it's down about 16 to 18 inches into the soil where I've hit the rock bed as it is, and of course I'm going to be able to pour water and fertilizer in here, organic fertilizer, to make the plants grow. And I put in 5 of these actually to feed 10 plants. So I have one of these drainage pipes for every 2 tomatoes. So hopefully that will help me to grow these tomatoes really big. I've put in a stake here, of course, where my location of my tomato is going. I've got them all staked out, all 10 of them. And this is where I'm going to plant this particular brandywine. So first of all, what we're going to do is we're going to dig the hole and make the hole deep enough for the plant. So let's do that first. There we go. So make that hole nice and deep, because I'm planning on putting in some fertilizer. That's right. So let's go about that deep. So here we go. I'm going to, first of all, this is the way I do it. I always water in the hole. So first of all, I'm going to put in some water. Yeah, that should do it. And that'll drain out without any problem at all. Now, I'm going to put some extra fertilizer in the hole as well, because the tomato plants are really heavy feeders. You may have seen that long 48, 50-inch tomato root that I had from a tomato that was growing in this area. They're heavy feeders. So Now that I've got the hole dug, I'm going to add some fertilizer, all organic fertilizer. The first one is Epsom salts. It's an inorganic mined material that you can buy in a drugstore. Buy the unscented one. It contains magnesium sulfate, and this will prevent blossom end rot. Blossom end rot usually occurs on the first blossoms, so you want to prevent that because they may be the largest tomatoes that you're going to have. So I'm going to put in 2 tablespoons of Epsom salts. There we go. And in addition to that, I'm also going to put in some ground eggshells and banana peels. I've been grinding these all winter time, and of course they contain calcium, phosphorus, and potassium. And I'm going to put also 2 tablespoons of that into the hole as well. So there we go. And my final one is agricultural gypsum. Agricultural gypsum has been used in organic farming for over 50 years, and my recipe calls for 1 cup, there it goes, 1 cup of agricultural gypsum. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix that up a bit, put a little bit of soil in there, work the soil so it's all mixed up so the roots don't get burned. All right, that looks pretty good. So here we go. We're going to take a look at this tomato plant, and the first thing we want to do is take off some of the bottom leaves. I'm going to remove the bottom leaves here, just like that. That looks pretty good. Let's take a look at the root system and see how that is growing. Oh, that's a wonderful root system. Look at that. So it's completely covered, encased with roots, and I'm going to lower that into the hole about this deep, and I'm going to cover it in. So here we go. Looking good. So there you have it. I'm going to water it in now, and I'll do the same thing for the Cherokee Purple. This is Brandywine. I already have some flowers on it, but I don't know if they're going to take or not because we have some cold nights coming up, and if you have any cold nights below 55 Fahrenheit or 13 degrees Celsius, you may lose some of the blossom, or you might have some blossom drops. So I'm going to protect this. I'm going to put a barrier, a plastic barrier on this for the evening, especially for the next couple of days, because of course today is Mother's Day. It's May the 13th, and it's kind of early, but I'm going to take a chance, and I feel confident that we'll be able to get this plant growing even larger than this. So hopefully that gives you an idea how to plant your tomato plants and make them grow 7 feet tall. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.